Hey folks, Clayton here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play City Skylines After Dark. I have gone since the last episode. As promised, I worked on my interchanges and tried to make things that would work pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with them. This is actually my first time doing this particular design here with the tunnels, and it seems to alleviate a lot of traffic. So this was an avenue that just connected directly, and as I said at the time, it was just a temporary thing until we got set up, and this is pretty good for high flow. It looks a little bit derpy with the 3 lanes over here, but at peak hours it was really required to just store quite a bit of traffic there for light change so it could all dump through and have pretty good throughput. This one is particularly messy looking. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it does its job very, very well. What I wanted to do is I want to be able to, of course, to get from this side, from the highway heading, let's call it north, over to the westerly route, but I wanted to minimize how many, overpasses were going on, so I just made a tunnel. It happens to branch off of the one off-ramp, which is actually pretty common, at least when I drive around, say, Toronto, for example. There's a lot of this. You get off the off-ramp, and then that one splits in two for a couple of different directions, so you got to go into the tunnel over there, bypassing this intersection and getting rid of all this mess. Now, there is still the problem that there are a trio... Yeah, 3 intersections in a row along this this bridge, and if your traffic that's trying to get from one side to the other, you might get caught up a little bit there. Again, at some point, I'll re-enable some of the traffic mods. For example, all the traffic taking this route will almost all be taking a right turn. There might be 1 or 2 cases where someone might make a left over here to go this way, but it seems pretty unlikely. Pretty unlikely, very little. So I'd like this to make a right turn only and turn off these signal lights, for example, and that would have a pretty big outcome. We'll need the signal lights there for sure. And over here, well, again, everyone here should be making a right turn, except for a few every now and again. Right, this person is someone who's trying to go down here. That's one of the rare examples of someone who make a left over here. But if I force this to be right turn only, no big deal. That person will simply take the underpass over here to here and then make a left, which may or may not be ideal. I don't know. But the traffic is there. This very, very little work was done right over here. I was noticing it seemed like a lot of traffic was there. I don't have the traffic analyzer tool or traffic inspector added in. I'm trying to minimize how many mods again. It would be nice to have that one back in to figure out, who was taking various routes. It seemed like we'd probably eliminate quite a bit of traffic, especially up here, by doing this, and it seemed to work out pretty well. We can't take every single direction from this route, but you can take quite a few. One thing that's nice here is there's no traffic light that shows up, even though some people make a left turn here, which does slow down some of the traffic, but overall things flowing exceptionally well. And then over here, we actually have... I got rid of one of the intersections because it was 1, 2, 3 intersections in a row here that was causing... There's not a lot of traffic throughput here, although there's a good number of trucks going to the industrial area. There's not a lot of traffic throughput overall, but 3 intersections in a row very tight together like that was causing a bit of an issue. So the southerly highway here is instead going underneath the avenue and then coming over here. So the traffic from here can take this little on-ramp, and there's actually another on-ramp over here for traffic going the other way. Looking very nice. Traffic is flowing well. Of course, it's night right now, so the traffic is going to look a little bit better, but God, I love those lights like this. Makes me think of playing a flight simulator and you're coming down and you're doing a landing on a runway illuminated at night right over here. Very sexy looking. All right, so now we're free to continue expanding. There's demand for just about everything, a little bit less for the residential right now. Residential is still growing, however, but I think they'll be happier if there are more jobs. Now, what I think I want to do is I actually want to expand the agricultural industrial area. Now, my actual land that is agriculturable actually sort of kind of ends here, although it's still there. But I want to expand it basically into this whole area, and I want some of it to be food processing. They might not be able to grow food there, but they'll be able to process it, and that should actually create more internal traffic over here. The other thing that would be nice, I think, would be to extend this train track over to here and then sort of connect that up. In fact, I might want to put a train station right there, and then it'll be nicely in the center of the district. I kind of like that. Ooh, yes. Let us do something like that. So train, we want the train station. No, we want the cargo train station. We want it to be attached right over here. That's good. We want to run rail parallel to it. One of the things you want to avoid doing is running your main route through your train station. And so instead what you want to do is have your main route go around it. That way, any trains that are just trying to go to travel sort of through your city will not get stuck behind anyone who's waiting to load and unload traffic or cargo over here. So what I'll do is I guess I'll extend from down this way. Now it's a little bit hard to see at night, huh? Do we want a tunnel? You know what? Let's go tunnel. It's more expensive, but it uses up a lot less space. A lot less. We'll have it go there. We'll have it pop up over here again so that we can maneuver. We're going to have one path that goes that way and one that goes... We get to look a little bit cooler. No matter what, the angle is going to be a little bit wonky, but there we go. So this is now an operational cargo train station. So some of these guys who are taking the highway will actually use this instead. And likewise, some of the people who are coming in to drop off goods here, well, there's not going to be that many. Most of these are going to be return trucks because these are producing raw goods, right? Like if I click on this guy right over here, he is exporting agricultural products. So if we expand our industry to have places that process agricultural product into commercial goods, then that'll happen entirely within our city, and we can ship more goods to our commercial places, which is awesome. All right, we can actually, I suppose, trim this down and go underground right away. And then we'll expand on that later on. There we are. I could have trimmed this just a scooch more, but we're going to be okay. So now let's go ahead and build some more road for our industry. I'll probably keep going with this sort of swoopy-ish pattern. Maybe we'll run right along the rail. Am I elevated? Oh, I was underground. Right along the rail here. Because I think, even that, there's going to be a big gap, but that's okay. Something kind of like that, and then here. Right along the rail. And like that, and then we'll do one more with just enough spacing. There we are, so that we can use the full block size. Of course, there's still a bit of wasted space because of the diagonals, right? It's not completely square, but I think we're all right. Now, I'm actually wondering if one of these should have been a double wide avenue. Problem is, if I expand it now, we'll lose some of our space. Let me do the next one. We'll put in one more. This will be a double wide. Start a little bit closer. There we are. And this is going to be... Oh, and then we're out of money. All right, we'll hit play. I was going to say, this will be the one that connects up to this road system over here. Right around there. I think that's going to be a good amount of space between blocks. I don't know. I don't want any of this traffic to sort of use this highway entrance. So I'm actually going to go ahead and stretch it out over this way. And connect up over here instead. A connection for sort of more residential people who work over here and less the various highways and things. Ooh, we are going to need more power again. Or, oh, we just lost our power connection. That is not ideal. There we are. Let's get that going on there. Bulldoze you. Oh, I did activate a few mods. I've got the auto bulldoze mod on and the auto empty mods. I'll have some links down in the description box. Hopefully, I'll remember it. If not, email me or tweet me. And I've also got the tree brush mod because honestly, the city looks so much better when it is filled with greenery. And it's, you know, mostly a visual sort of thing. I don't know if these style trees have an impact on the beauty of the city, or it does or it doesn't. I don't care. You know, if it's a cheat, it's a cheat. It just looks so much better when we've got trees everywhere. Like, all this space here by the highway, I will probably leave open just because of this. Now, these might not be the trees we want, although I'm pretty happy with them. There we go. And then there, and it's a little boxy over here until we get the rest of the train. I know I did say that in the next episode we're going to go and buy all this stuff, which I still need to do because we're desperate for water. But I think developing this is not too shabby. I'm going to go and... Oh, I can upgrade that. Why? What is this? Firehouse. We will move the firehouse to down there. Then I will upgrade that and continue it this way. There we are. And same thing over here. which should be fine and sufficient. I suppose I could go and throw in maybe one little thing there and one little thing there, maybe another one there. But it's really not important. It's weird. This looks not connected, even though it clearly is. Now, this is going to be an issue. There's going to be a lot of traffic on this road. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to set this to be a one-way road, because what we want to do is make it so that the traffic is flowing so that we're making right-hand turns into this all the time. It will actually make this flow quite a bit better. Is the one way the right way? Nope. It's never the way that I want. There we are. I mean, most of the traffic is already flowing that way, but by making it explicit, it's going to help things move a little bit quicker. There's going to be a lot of traffic here. Now, part of the problem is because this is currently my only train station, so cargo that is going to commerce over here is getting dumped out here. So in the short term, this is actually going to cause a massive traffic problem over here, so we're going to have to fix it soon. What I do want to do is extend my district here. This, and then I want to latch on to this road. So this is all going to be forest industry, even though we don't have forest, like fertility everywhere there. But it's, or sorry, not forest, farming. But it is going to mean that we're going to be processing farm products everywhere over here. Now, some of this might not end up being industry, although most of it probably will. You know what? The marquee tool, I think, is what we actually want. This juncture, like that. Okay. We will revisit you. That's going to dramatically increase the demand of power and water. Yeah, see, this traffic is going to be really bad until we expand our train service over to here, and ideally one all the way over here. I think we're going to do a lot of underground trains. It's not really going to be a metro, although we will set up passenger train routes for them at some point. But yeah, right now, this is going to be ridiculous amounts of traffic because it's the only one. The highway itself is going to get totally cleared up. But it's amazing how much traffic your industry creates. I might have to go and build that right away. No, tell you what. Might screw me a bit, but let's go ahead and expand out all the way over here. Even if we do nothing else, just because our water... Actually, our water's okay right now. We can afford to wait a little bit longer. But it's bought now, which is good. I won't put down the buildings because it's just going to add to my upkeep. But the idea is I'm going to be collecting water over here. And nice and far away from our sewage outflow way over there. We had some water ticks over there. Is it just... Oh, you're actually not totally covered by water. So, let's go and do some of that. A little, actually very little overlap, even though we were just, you know, eyeballing it. Well, eyeballing it from the outside, it worked out exceptionally well over there. But yeah, the water requirements are going to skyrocket, and the power requirements are going to skyrocket as well. So we're still making good money, which is great. Actually, what is the power situation? No, not bad. But yeah, see the water availability? So we're going to start pumping some water from over here. We are going to have to send them power. Actually, rather than run a big, ugly power line, what I think I'm going to do... oh, no. I will just run a big, ugly power line. I was hoping that that would be closer to the shore, in which case I was just going to power it like that. So obviously, this will go away at some point as we expand this way. But for now, we have secured a proper water source over there. So we can keep dumping poop in here for now. But again, I would like to replace this with proper water treatment at some point. But this is going to continue to be relatively industrial, so we're losing some of our high-value coast. But there you go. Oh, and actually, speaking of a way to improve traffic, why don't I put a cargo hub over here? How expensive is that? 90 grand. But this is the combination cargo ship lane plus train station, which is absolutely what we want. So that'll be the next purchase. It's going to eliminate this giant bottleneck that is happening over here. It's going to be wickedly improved by doing that. So that's what we want to do. And we've got some demand for commercial. Let's go ahead and put down some high density commercial. Maybe right here. Don't think it'll cause too many traffic problems. Cross my fingers. Yeah, save up to 90 grand. I think that will be wonderful. Population growth is slowing right now. We actually do have demand for residential, and it wouldn't be very expensive to develop a new residential area, so I think I would like to do that over here. Well, let's run our streets parallel to the diagonal line. So we need one more so it's got enough room to be tight in there. Leave a little green space. And there too. And I think there's not going to be that much traffic along this line for a little bit. Oh, let's make a nice little central square over here. Plus, it's a good place to put big schools. And we don't need that. And then over here, got a couple of steps. And we're going to have to figure out exactly where we want to do some of our connections. I'm trying to create some T-junctions, both because T-junctions are slightly less traffic intensive, but also trying to discourage anyone from ever wanting to drive just straight through this area. Well, something like that. Could do something weird. Oops. Not that weird. That was ugly. Gotta do this so I can get my length measurement again. Actually, I guess we'll just do that to minimize the overlap. And then I think that will be lovely. So we get a connection on both sides. Very little cross traffic. I think it's probably okay for us to do this as well. And maybe one on the other side. There we go. That shouldn't shortcut too many things. And that shouldn't have cost us too much money to develop. Let's go ahead and make this a giant low-density residential, even though we're going to have to replace a lot of things down the road. And I guess we'll have to spend a little bit of money on water pipes as well. But I think people will move in, and that should be a pretty big boon to our tax income. Like that. Okay. Fast forward some more. Got some haze over here. Oh, right, because I've got an incineration plant over there. How is my garbage stuff? Incineration status. Okay, not enough. And the landfills are definitely getting a bit full. I think I'm just going to stack another one over here. Does suck. We're spending some more money. On the other hand, at least these do produce power for us. Not enough money. Do I want to spread them somewhere else? Again, I'm a little worried about some pollution. I guess this is all commercial. This is going to overlap a little bit on the other side. Is the other side also commercial? It is. Okay. So it's not too dangerous. I'll just put down a landfill for now. Then we'll put an incinerator next to it. Again, I've got the auto empty mod operating, which will be nice. People complaining about workers, but we do have some new people coming into town now. A little bit of demand for commercial. Let's go ahead actually and change these two to be commercial. I guess we could set up some bus lines over here. That's a sure way to kickstart some growth and isn't too expensive. I don't even know if the bus line itself costs us anything. So there, to there, to there, to there, over here, then here. We'll stop there. One there, and cancel this one. It'd be nice if you could meet up at another stop. I guess you can do that and hook up to that grid. It's not the same as going to the bus station, but it's not too bad. Again, a little bit more happiness, and you're not actually connected. You will be once all these houses fill in, though, so don't worry too much. We will need more power soon, which I guess means we have to put down that incinerator right now. We still need more incinerators just to keep up with the amount of garbage we're producing. Because the incinerator capacity is 288k a week, and we're producing over 300k a week. Some of it's temporarily getting stored in the garbage dumps, but obviously they will fill up, so we're going to need more of that. And yes, you will get power soon. There you go. Everything connected up. I could build some more parks, but I'm just going to hold off. I'm going to let these people sort of stay a little bit more poor and undesirable. Assuming they don't start a criminal empire. Right now, crime seems to be very much under control, though. There is more crime at night, We could leave one of these places to become a big criminal haven. That would be kind of interesting. That along the outside. I think all these places along the outside will eventually be like really will be a good candidate for high density residential. Here, I'll put some of it down now. But that's what I'm thinking most of it will be. And then we'll have the low density on the inside. And it'll look lovely with all the trees and a little bit of green space in there. Very good. Water, good. Power, just sort of there. Again, I would really very much like to save up money there. How's the traffic backlog here? Even at night, it is completely packed. There's just so much demand over here for the cargo. It'll be really nice to spread it around. Getting one here will help, and then getting a train connection over here will go a very long way. Maybe we'll put it on this diagonal bit. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. All right. Well, let's let it play. I don't think anything too bad is going to happen. Tax income's going up. Have we, small business and big business enthusiasts, will dramatically increase our money. There's no reason to never do that. There's a few others that I know is like, no, you should always just do it. And I can't remember what they are, but those two, yeah, I got to make sure to leave those on all the time. They'll also make a bigger profit, so that'll probably add more commercial demand, which isn't so bad. As long as we keep producing goods as well to ship to them. I'd like to take a look at what some of the industry here has popped up. A baconery over here, for example. So, where do you come from? Ready sliced fruits over here. Yeah, the baconery. Are you making pigs? Real cereal? You might. Yeah, I guess all this land was actually fertile. Not as fertile, but still fertile. What about over here? Amy's Baking Company. There we go. So they will take in some... See, let's see. Where are you going? Ah, you're delivering agricultural product to the baconery. So maybe the baconery does make stuff. Maybe I was right. That's right over here. Or do you send, like, fruit here and it gets fed to the pigs? That was the real cereal, actually. I want to see a truck that comes out of some of these places, not just delivers. That might happen more during the day. Like, they might spawn more trucks during the day. There we go. No, exporting agricultural products. Yeah, I don't know the flow of all this, but I know that there is that sort of internal mechanic. Return to facility. Delivering agricultural product to Frank's Fine Fish Factory. It's a long way away, but there we go. That'll make a final good. So we might not have any regular industry over here. But I think there will be. If any of this stuff stands on non-fertile land. Anywho, are we at 90? Yes, we are. We are making big money right now. Good. Because I really want the cargo hub. And this seems like a swell spot to put it for a couple of different reasons. So... Wow, it made people happy. Oh, it made the industry happy. So it's got the road and it's got the rail. So let's hook up the road first. In particular, it's going to need some pretty intense highway access, I suspect. So is this a one-way at all? No, but most of the traffic coming out of here, I would like to encourage them to take a right-hand turn. So let's go ahead. And actually... Go subterranean right away? I guess so. Are you in straight? I don't want straight. Ugh. How awful is that? Bulldoze, bulldoze. I want curvy. Alright. That is not at all what I was hoping for. I went up. Got the connection going too early. Connect to here. Stay down a little bit longer. There we go. And then find yourself a spot to connect to. No? Really? Oh my god, why are you so difficult? Oh, and I hate the... Sometimes... Okay. Show me the level underneath. No? I gotta be here and then hit B? Come on, don't be like this. Anyway, we'll curve a little bit away and then... There. Whatever. It still saves a little bit of space. I would like to connect down there, but I'm sure there's a better way to do it. I'll probably do it at some point. Whereas here, you can split off this way, and then go subterranean. In fact, you'll probably have to go... Actually, I think one level down is going to work here. Yeah, because that one's actually 2 levels down. So the goal here is to come all the way over here, and then connect up. There we go. So this is currently connected to the highway. Nothing else, just the highway. Now, is that going to be sufficient? Well, it's an interesting question. These industry here almost certainly want to be able to access this stuff. I guess I can give them a local road. Maybe something a little meandery. Right, they can actually connect up here just fine. And then something like this. Most of the trucks will still prefer going directly to the highway, but local traffic from here can use that. Actually, I wonder if it might be best. It's going to be a little tricky to get in here. If I come off of this and then go down, there we go. And then finish the tunnel and then connect up there. I could have tunneled the whole way. But there we go. Now, these guys here have direct access to this in a very convenient fashion. Love it. Okay. It does need power. Let's get that going. Now, cargo ships should start arriving. That's very good. Make sure it registers. Excellent. How much money we got? 20 grand. That's going to be probably not enough to build a railroad if we're going entirely beneath the ground. Tunnels are expensive. That's not bad. Oh, no. 74,000. I was missed. Oh, it's because when I'm hitting something above, it goes to much cheaper. So the tunnel's what, like 4 times more expensive? That is pricey, but it's going to like make our routes so much easier to work with. I think it's worth the investment. Although, I gotta say, I do like the elevated rails that go through the city, maybe alongside the highway. Actually does look pretty damn spiffy a lot of the time. It is a lot cheaper. But I don't know. I think I'm going to go underground. And I think I'm going to connect on this side. And then this side can swoop around over here and connect up to the rail station that I've got there. Get a nice big circle thing going on. I like it. We'll have to remember to include a bypass here as well. So I can actually build the bypass right now, so I don't forget it. So we are underground already, which is nice. So you're going to stay underground. Oops. And oh, go straight and then curve out. How come you can't? I just got to tell you to be deeper so you're not as steep. Fair enough. Right, something like that. And then this guy here can pop out here, go underground as early as possible, and then connect that way. And then from here, same thing. Pop out, go underground somewhere around there. And then you're looking to connect up to this guy. Alright, so we got the bypass, which is great. It's not connected to anything yet, because holy crap, this stuff is expensive. But we should start to get cargo ships. Oh, we just missed a pack, but some more should come soon. And that will be pretty dramatic. Already we're getting quite a bit of traffic here. People who want to send their goods outside of the city. That's really, really, really good. That's going to clear so much traffic off our roads. It really makes such a massive difference. I mean, metros and bus lines are really good, but I find the biggest source of, maybe not just raw number of cars, but everywhere where you get a real massive bottleneck, it tends to be a lot of the industrial stuff. So there we go. We're shipping some stuff away, 44% full. It'll probably be even better on the next one, because there's a lot of trucks that are going there. And some local traffic, and then plenty of people who are interested in getting out of town, like, or taking the highway and want to ship things out of town. It'll be even better once we get the trains in there. It'll be fantastic. And I'm terribly sorry, I forgot to turn off the Steam overlay. But hey, you know what? This is a great time to put a cut. We're going to do that. I'm going to very slowly go. And we're going to continue to expand our rail this way over time. Got some traffic here. Again, I think this is very highly related to this cargo station. Once we get the train all set up over here, things are going to be much, much, much better. Ooh, we need to suck in more water. Let's do that before I forget. Also, it's actually probably the power that's the real problem. Because the other thing's not getting enough power. Whew. Alright, just barely. And now, what does that do for our water? Okay, we're fine again, although very close to running out again. So we're going to have to work on that, as well as getting that rail connection. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.